isn't it crazy how Krishna or God creates these beautiful things? Like, imagine an aloe vera. Like, just look at it. When you look at it, you're just like, what the heck? That plant. And look at all its medicinal properties it has. Anyways, I'm here in my little shed / garden house. And I had this nice video planned out, but I had to delete it. So take 2. And I kind of wanted to relate this with this one show, Lost. Have you ever seen Lost? I've never seen Lost. I'm barely on episode 4 or 5. And in the show, the older gentleman who can't walk, I can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I can't remember his name. But he tells Jack, I remember that character. He tells Jack that the island is magical, and he says that because of what it's given him, right? And during that whole storyline, or during that whole episode, there's the other gentleman that's like the rock star. Forget his name. See, I'm not really good with names nowadays. Before I was pregnant, I was so good with people's names. Now I'm like, But anyways, and he's telling him, because he's a drug addict, he tells them, in order for you to receive, you need to give the island something. So in order for you to obtain this, he really wants his guitar. So in order for him to obtain his guitar, he's asking him, you need to give something up. So he gives it up, right? And then he tells him, oh, look up. And hopefully this is not a spoiler for anybody who's never even seen that show. And so I really like that analogy, or just like that emphasis of, in order to gain something, we need to lose something, right? And maybe you've heard this in other YouTube videos, or maybe you've heard this from somebody who's told you, in order to gain something, you need to you need to give something up. And that's the way I feel like with this this past year. I was an avid smoker. I've been an avid smoker since I was 22 years old. And at first it was just more of a pleasure, quote unquote pleasure thing. The what? Monday. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, if you're gonna be in here, we have to use our inside voice. Okay. Lost my train of thought. So, I had been an avid smoker, right? And not cigarette, more of the other one, the cannabis one. And in 2023, I had told myself, I'm going to give it up. I'm going to totally give it up. And I was sober for 4 or 5 months. I can't remember how long I lasted. And then I just kind of caved in. One day, a friend came from out of town, and I just I don't know why I caved in. And I was doing so good, and I felt so good mentally. And this past month, I noticed a trend. And smoking would be just one time a day, maybe in the evening, just to kind of cool down, quote unquote, cool down, right? And anyways, long story short is that when I gave that up before the end of the year, end of 2023, it felt so liberating to give it up. And for my mental health especially. And if you follow medical medium Anthony Williams, he speaks of the toxicity toxicity of cannabis, and there's other doctors that talk about what it does to your brain. So, and me, I'm the type of person that I like to get to the root cause. And yeah, I've been eating a healthy diet for a very long time. I've been eating whole food, plant-based, but now I'm kind of going back to how I used to before, when I first went cold turkey and just left animal-based foods. And No te enseñes. No quiero que te enseñes en la cámara, okay?
I'm in the picture.
No, I'm not doing a picture. This is for Mommy's channel.
I'm gonna be in here.
You could be in here. Yeah, you could be in here. Look, there's a bug in there. He's crawling in there. You see him? He's in there. So anyways, I'm losing my train of thought. A lot going on. I have curry in my on the stove too, but I put it on low heat because I was like, I really want to make this video before the end of the day. And anyways, for my mental sake, I had to give it up. And for my mental health, or just in general, I think you can hang it wherever you want. I think Krishna, I think God wanted me to realize, like, hey, in order for you to gain this, you need to give this up. And giving it up was really well. Put it over there. There's a cloud over there. Giving it up, not only do I have more clarity in life, or more clarity.
Where is it?
Up here, wherever, puppy, wherever. Not only do I have more clarity, but feeling sober, and anyone who's struggling with sobriety, that feeling that you have when you're sober, it's just like your all senses work. And I don't judge you if you still smoke cannabis or if you drink alcohol. And I was never one to dab into alcohol. My dad was an alcoholic. And that's a little bit hypocritical because, like, okay, if your dad was an alcoholic, then why'd you go down this other path? I never done hardcore drugs. I've never even done Botox, fillers, anything like that. But that was the one thing that I was like, I need to give it up. Long story short is that with our habits, in order to gain, we need to remove these obstacles, remove these things that are stopping us from becoming the better version of ourselves. So for anybody out there who's struggling, one step at a time, maybe, for the example, like the example of myself of being an avid smoker, I think I'm pretty strong-minded where I'm like, okay, just cold turkey. Like when I first went vegan, somebody asked me this the other day and they're like, how'd you stop doing it? It's like, I just went cold turkey. I watched Really a Banana Girl and I watched her so much that it was just like, I need to do this for my health, cold turkey. But it was like smoking was one of those things that it was just like, oh, I need to do it. But just cold turkey from one day to another before the end of the year in December, or this past 2023 in December, it was just like, boom. And I haven't looked back, and I feel good. And now I'm 33 years old, and I'm like, no, I have to. I understand that this is for like I'm leveling up in some way up here. Anyways, and that's a little transparent for somebody on this channel or on this whole emphasis of face. I'm going to be telling you this, but that's just. I hope that you can relate in some way with that. Oop, I'm spitting. Hope you can relate in some way with that, with unhealthy habits that we carry. And I am not perfect. Nobody is perfect on this planet except for God. So we learn from these experiences. And
I hang it right here.
And when it comes down to habits, it's one thing at a time. Take it easy. No one is perfect. Every single day, celebrate your wins. Let's say you only did it one time a day, or let's say you like to eat processed foods and you only ate one packaged food out of the day, or in the day out of eating so many things within your meal. That's just an example. Great. One day at a time, one moment at a time, but just try to be present. And going back to that analogy, we have to give something in order to gain something. Yeah, that's my little message for today that I really wanted to get out. But I hope that you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And although some days might feel dark, there's always going to be light waiting for you, wherever you are, or wherever you are on your path. Maybe I should do a little bit of a, let's see what's over here. Ah! We got a lot of things going on here. Zapote. Isn't that marvelous? God created these things. God created this. Like, God created, like, this plant that has holes inside of it. Isn't that crazy? This is one of my favorite plants because I have that one big one right there. It's not doing so great right now because we haven't really been watering because we're like kind of, this is the first time we're kind of playing with this whole idea of this shed that we have. Oh no, that one's not doing great. The papaya and the mango. Look at that mango. Beautiful. Well, with this, I sign off.